Very good morning. How are you doing today?
Very well.
Very well. It was a little tiring yesterday, right? But it was like, I was talking to a good friend here. He was like, they say there is a Kumbh Mela. Similarly, now we have a Fintech ka Kumbh Mela. And all of us, from every walk of Fintech universe, from banks, from Fintech, from networks, every partner, every clog in the ecosystem is here in the digital, center of digital universe. So my name is Abhishek Swarnkar. I am in charge for RuPay. RuPay is India's own homegrown network. And today I'm going to discuss about commercial cards. So I'll give you a brief about myself. In my entire career, I have 50% of my career or maybe 75% of my career was in commercial cards. So whenever a topic which is even closer to commercial card comes, I get like super excited. So before I start the session, I have a question for the audience. How many of you know what is commercial card? Raise of hands. Maybe with, yeah, of course. Yeah. And any one of you just can, tell me anyways, we'll be talking about the journey. Anyone of you can maybe tell me a brief, a line maybe. Yes. Any volunteers? Absolutely. So yes, commercial card is, if you talk about credit cards are two. One is consumer card given to all of us, which we hold in our pockets. Second is a commercial card, which again is in our pocket if you're using it for T&E. There are multiple purposes. Let's talk about it now. And this is not moving. Anyways, guys, can we try or no problem? So when the first slide, yes, now we have moved to this. You have to come to the first slide first. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So the first slide I'll be talking about what is the total landscape of commercial cards in India. So what we have done, the total commercial card landscape is divided into two parts. One is the volume and the other one is the value. Last financial year, the total value was around 36,000 crore, all issuers put together. And if I say top four issuers were contributing to the major, spends in commercial cards. And commercial card, anyways, you have more spends because now I'll come to the second graph, which speaks about what are the division of a commercial card. So commercial cards can be divided into mainly four parts. One is a corporate T&E, the card which is given to you when you travel for official purpose. You use that card for your expenses, official expenses, that is number one. Number two is purchase cards. When the card is given to a finance or an admin or anybody centrally who uses the card for making purchases on company's behalf, on the organization's behalf, that is called purchase card. Third is CTA, RTS or RTA, RuPay travel system. So there are three. So what happens here is that, consolidation of all the travel happens at one place and you book the travel through one desk. So that is called central travel account or RuPay travel account or central travel CTS. So that's one. If you talk about the contribution of all the products, so around 70% comes from purchase card. Purchase card is like the bread and butter of commercial cards, followed by CTA, then T&E, and multiple products. Yeah. So this is how it is. Business cards are also contributes to majorly around 15% in the total overall spends of commercial card. What are the key trends? If I talk about key trends here, initially it was, if you talk about the entire spends of all card put together, it was 4%. Last financial year, it was around 19% of the total spends of all credit cards put together, right? So retail and commercial, 19%, around 20% was on commercial cards. If I talk about growth, so 40% CAGR, it has grown with 40% CAGR in last 5 years, and what we envisage that it will again grow with 45% of CAGR in next 5 years. That's what we envisage for commercial cards. What are the key recent development? Very major one. A regulator, RBI, has banks card scheme to halt vendor payments or supplier payments through aggregators or intermediaries. So that was halted in the month of Feb, I believe. So that is halted presently, which has impacted purchase card to some extent. Secondly, also what we have seen the growth, mostly because of the Udyam Udyam number coming into the picture. Around 75% of MSMEs and small merchants will get themselves registered on Udyam portal, and they will have some, credit footprint. Mostly all MSMEs. So that's what government is also facing on. They want to build this rail. So that is what we will envisage the recent development which is happening in the space of commercial cards. Now I'll talk about the products. Can I move from here? Yeah. So if I talk about the product, so this is the definition, the textbook definition: commercial credit card are secured or unsecured credit lines issued to entities, organizations to cover all type of business and professional expenses. So this is like the textbook definition of a commercial card. What are the different commercial cards are in key product categories: travel and entertainment card, central travel account, purchase cards, business and MSME cards. And what are the key features if I talk about that? So they are, advanced analytics is one of it, because you give input and insights of the expenses. That's number one. Number two is extended credit period to the entity. So an organization or entity can enjoy up to 50 days of credit period. So that is also second important point. Third is curated offers, of course, cashbacks given to the organizations. That is number three. And number four, and most important point, is issuers provide a dedicated team for servicing commercial cards or business cards. So these are the four key features. If I talk about key segments here, so large institutions, large multinationals, micro and small and medium enterprises, MSMEs, dealers and distributors, and the last is sole proprietors. And who are the key facilitator in commercial card? Issuers are banks. Fintechs, most of the fintechs, they are providing new solution to in commercial card space. That's number two, fintechs. Number three is card network like RuPay, wherein all this, all the commercial card transaction happens on card network like us. So these are the key facilitator. We can have fourth as well, the regulator, because regulator also makes sure that everything is happening as per the regulation. So these are the, introduction of commercial card product-wise. Now let me take you to the third problem. The third slide talks about what are the challenges which is faced by corporates and employees. So this slide is little complicated, right? Too many things written here. And it is by intention, because actually this happens. Without a commercial card, a life of a employee or a corporate is little complicated. So what are the things, what are the complications which a corporate faces? Inefficient back office processes, because everything is now manual. Second is, time consuming, because what happens, you have multiple people traveling, all of them claiming at different point of time. So that also takes a lot of time. Lost savings from supplier negotiation. So what happens when your expenses are scattered? It's very difficult to negotiate with your supplier. So that's number three. Lack of visibility. A manual process will not give you visibility. Excel will not give you visibility what a commercial card provides. It complicates accounting. As I said, in a traditional process, you have multiple people traveling, multiple people claiming at a different point of time. So it complicates internal accounting as well. Non-compliance with the T&E policies. Every company like ours have certain T&E policies wherein at certain levels, what can you spend on as per the official, so that is also there. So that is also sometimes breached, because you cannot track that, right? Inefficient allocation of resources and employee dissatisfaction. If I'm using my personal card for official expenses and my claims are not come on time, so obviously I'll have my credit limit exhausted in my credit card. So that is also something which is there. The major problems which a corporate and an employee faces because of the lack of corporate cards. Why an organization or an employee, a large corporate, should take a corporate card? These are the pillars: convenience, control, and visibility. Spend visibility. A corporate card provides a visibility to a corporate. They can divide cost-wise. In my further slides, I will be talking about how RuPay is helping it. So a corporate can divide its expenses cost center-wise, profit center-wise, and all of that can be done. Enhanced control. If a corporate wants to restrict certain categories on a corporate card, it is possible. Because, through MCC, you can restrict certain categories on the card. So that is also there, which provides control. Bottom line saving, obviously, you have extended payment terms in a commercial card. There's a 50-day credit period. So there's an extended credit period as well. It goes without saying that it provides efficiency in the entire process. Employee convenience, as I said, Your own balances are not blocked. You're using a corporate card for all your expenses. Seamless automation. That is a very key feature of a commercial card for an organization, that it provides automation. Policy compliance, again, all compliances can be built in the ERP system. So that is also a very big feature of a corporate card. Okay, yeah. Now again, this is a slide which is very complicated, right? A lot of things, it's talking a lot. There are too many arrows going here and there. And again, this is by intention. So I want to tell you how complex is a life of a finance head or an admin head or a HR head in an organization without a commercial card. So generally, these are the 4 ways a company makes the payment: RTGS, checks, demand drafts, and cash. What happens? You can see all arrows going here and there. It's difficult to monitor. There's no automation. It's high cost, multiple processes, reconciliation, lock-in period, all of that. So if somebody is making a payment, direct payment to a supplier, all these arrows come into the picture. How do we solve it? I'm sorry, yeah. We solve it through a commercial card or a purchase card. How it is done? A corporate card or a purchase card issued to an organization with a limit, and basis the instruction, certain MCCs can also be blocked. And purchase card can be, a purchase card or commercial card can be done for all the purchases in an organization. By blocking MCCs, you are restricting the things which are not utilized. A statement is generated on a fixed date. So you have all the transactions, all the statements on a single day. So instead of making multiple payments in a month, you make a single payment against all the employees, all the purchase cards. Third is that you make the payment before or on due date. So there is single payment. So you have multiple transactions, but there is a single payment which goes. So that is how we streamline. For purchase card also, there are large expenses as we speak in the first slide. 70% of the total expense on a corporate card is on purchase card. And if you talk about the entire expense in the country, you add PSU, you add large enterprises, expenses, purchase card expenses are something which can be cardable. And this process can streamline it, wherein you are making direct payment to the vendors through a commercial card. So now I'll talk about RuPay. So RuPay, we have 3 kind of products for our banks, and further banks can give it to their corporates. One is a corporate card, other one is a purchase card, and third one is a business card. Corporate cards, as I said, are issued for purchase card, for T&Es and all of that. It can be integrated to T&E. Third is a purchase card, which is for high value transactions. A single card is given for high value transactions, that is called purchase card. Third is a business card, which is given to MSMEs, small business owners. So these are the 3 categories of card which we have in NPCI, in RuPay. A very important question comes always whenever we talk about T&E cards. What is the acceptance? Because people generally travel a lot. The major expense in a corporate or a T&E card is travel, right? So what is the acceptance of RuPay? RuPay gets accepted in 195 countries. We have our network integration, network tie-up with 2 international network partners. One is Discover, other one is JCB. So we are accepted in 195 countries. The latest number is 210. Around 48 million plus global outlets, 2 million global ATMs, around 981 lounges across the globe. RuPay cards gets accepted. And we have one program where is International Cash Concierge. In case of somebody loses a card, we have a possibility of providing him cash wherever he is. That is also a possibility, a capability of RuPay. Now let me talk about the second most important point, because there's a lot of domestic spends also which happens on a corporate card. If generally a card gets accepted at a 10 million POS merchants across India. So any card other than RuPay gets accepted at only 10 million POS merchants. But if you talk about RuPay, we have a 10x acceptance, because when it is RuPay, it gets accepted on UPI, it gets accepted through NCMC. So the acceptance increases by 10x. I'll tell you, as I said initially, I have done corporate card in my entire life. What I know is commercial cards. So in my last previous organization, what I did, there was a large entity, and with our efforts, 3-4 years of effort, we were able to convince them to take a commercial card. So they took commercial card, they gave it to their employees, and it was one of the largest project, and I got a lot of accolades, a lot of kudos and all of that. But there was no spends. So cards were issued, 15,000 cards were issued, there was no spends. Then we went back to that organization. They said, the chairman has told us to give cards to each and every salesperson, but our salesperson they stay in tier 3 cities, tier 4 cities, and there is no POS acceptance. So at that time, we were not able to solve it, but that problem can be solved today. A RuPay card gets accepted at 100 million, acceptance points. So if a card is given to any of the organization, it gets accepted. So that is the power of RuPay, 10x acceptance. And there are various, like cards get accepted at Scan and Pay, e-commerce, on the go, POS, in-flight payments, all of it. So I'll talk about 3 things today. There are many if I talk about, but I have a limited time. Sanjana said you have 20 minutes or 30 minutes. So I will, cover only in 30 minutes. Maybe we can connect later. So I'll talk about 3 things, what we have in RuPay as far as the innovations is concerned. So one is optimized spending control. We have come up with our own solution, which is called RuPay Corporate Connect. And second is our solution and innovation towards business and MSME. And third is our RuPay Smart Interchange. So these are the 3 things I will be talking about. And as I said, for further discussion, I'm always available. So we can have a further discussion on this, but today we'll talk about these 3 things. So RuPay Corporate Connect, it provides access management. There are 10 plus levels in Corporate Connect. You can have divisions, cost-wise, department-wise, region-wise, all of that can be done here. You can have expenses, breakdown in terms of MCCs, in terms of transactions. All of that can also be done here. What happens with this, you can negotiate with your suppliers, right? If you have these sheets, you can know that my employees are spending on this category this much. They can go and negotiate with their suppliers. Transaction view, again, this is something which is unique to us. This is real time. So whenever the transaction is happening, it is the unsettled transactions, unbilled, billed transaction, everything is reflected in the system. Reports on demand power, it has an engine which supports all kind of reports. If you want, this will be provided to the admin or a finance hand or whosoever is requiring it. So these are the 4 pillars of our Corporate Connect. These are a couple of dashboards which we have. One is a consolidated dashboard. So there are 2 versions of it. One is a bank version, second one is the corporate version. So in a bank version, they will see a dashboard of all their corporates at one screen. In a corporate version, they will have the details of their cards. So first screen talks about the dashboard of how many cards they have, what is the limits among all the cards. That's number 1. Number 2 is the corporate management. For banks, it will be they can onboard new corporates through this tool. For corporates, they can onboard their employees. They can add. They can if employee has left the organization, they can delete that profile. Number 3 is statistics. This is very important because you need to have intelligent analytics to work on the data. So that's number 3, all kind of analytics is provided. And financial reports. So in case you want to download the reports in various formats, that is also provided. So this feature comes along with RuPay commercial cards. Yes, sir. Anything specific that co-brand partners can get access to in terms of analytics? So, okay. So very good question. So this co-brand question will cover not only consumer but corporate as well. So presently what the direction says that a co-brand partner's role is limited to sales and distribution. So as of now, the data can be provided at the consolidated level, maybe by the bank, but detailed transaction analysis is not what co-brands will be getting. Yeah. So yes, so these are a couple of reports. So financial reports, you can have multiple financial reports. You can put it in your ERP system. So that is also the capability of this tool. And as I said, this is real time. Now I'll talk about the second innovation, which is RuPay Smart Interchange. This program, helps issuer banks to select the interchange. So what happens, whenever in a commercial card scenario, a large corporate, negotiates, a bank negotiates with a large corporate that if they want to come on corporate card, what would be let's say the total cost of it, right? So over here, if you talk about the total MDR, the interchange also is a major portion of it. So we have this program which is called RuPay Smart Interchange, or a variable program, wherein a bank and along with the corporate can choose different interchange programs for different vendor payments. So that is a capability we have. So there are 9 rates which a issuer can choose, and it is linked to all MCCs. So depending on the MCCs of that particular merchant, the corporate can choose it, the banks can provide it. So that also, reduces the overall cost of the corporate, and also it empowers the banks to negotiate. It empowers the corporate to have this feature for their purchase cards.
Abhishek, this has to be set at the initiation of the program only?
Yes, at the time of initiation. No. So what? Okay, yes, they can. Absolutely. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They can. It's just that, what happens here is that these are bilaterals. Okay. So this is between the issuer, corporate, and the supplier. So every time, so there'll be a single rate. They can change it also depending on their internal negotiation. But this is not, this is bilateral between two parties. Yeah. But yes, this is flexible. They can change the rates as well. Okay. So overall, yes, that's correct. Interchange is what acquirer pays to the issuer. So over here, what is happening, because the issuer wants this business, this AAA organization is not ready to come on corporate card because their cost of fund anyways is less. So what happens here is the issuer is ready to forego some portion of the interchange. So overall cost of the transaction goes down. That's correct. What you said is absolutely correct.
That's the main reason why commercial card is not a hit. The parallel economy will reduce the cost of fund. I mean, they have various ways of taking funds from the market, and one is their own community. So if your repo rate is 6.5 or 6.8, and in the market they get it for, let's suppose, I mean, if any rate that we offer for commercial card is like 8.5, they say, "Hum to already ma'am sawa saat pe mil."
Correct.
They'll never change. They'll say it will create a lot of transparency to the regulators, so we do not want to come on this. However, this program will provide.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because this will overall reduce the cost, right? Now I'll talk about the third pillar, which is business and MSME cards. Again, this is something which is unique to us. Udyam registration portal is created by Ministry of MSME. Presently, there are around 3 crore MSMEs registered on Udyam portal. And ultimately, what we see that there are around 6.5 crore MSMEs in India. Out of that, around 50% are already registered on Udyam portal. What we have at RuPay, we have a MOU with Ministry of MSME, wherein on Udyam portal, they will, a person can apply for a RuPay commercial card. So what happens, there is a link. So this is the small chart which I have told. This is specifically for banks. So what happens on Udyam portal, there will be a RuPay credit card banner, wherein a customer or a MSME can apply there and then, and their digital onboarding journey will start also there and then. So this is how it will look like. This is a dummy page, but this is how it will look like. So the customer will choose a bank, and further he can choose a card. So just imagine the power. There are around 2.5, as I said, around 3 crore MSMEs registered on a Udyam portal. So what kind of possibility, what kind of reach it gives to our banks? Now, this is about the banks, why they should take a RuPay business card. Now, let me talk about why a business should take a RuPay MSME card. So what we have done at a platform level, we have certain benefits which we provide to our MSMEs. These are a couple of those platforms. For example, email solutions, courier services, cloud platform, legal services, digital marketing platform, and so many things which we have for our MSME business partners. So this is again complimentary, fully loaded program provided to a MSME. So this is for the entrepreneur. So this is what he gets. What we are also doing, we are creating a separate tool, a separate portal for business, RuPay for business, and it will have minimum 100 offers. So what we are doing here, we are tying up with, at any point of time, there will be at least 100 features and offers present for our MSME partners. These are indicative features and offers, for example, AWS, Microsoft Office, and all of that will be provided. So what happens, when a small business goes in the market and negotiates for such services, it is difficult for them to negotiate. But what we have done at RuPay, we have negotiated at at a very good rates, and all these discounts are passed on to the MSMEs. So these are the three things which we have. One is RuPay Smart, one is RuPay Corporate Connect, which gives transparency. Second is RuPay Smart Interchange, which reduces the cost. Number 3 is our MSME portal, MSME solution, which provides offers and various kind of integrations to our MSMEs. So these are the 3 things from RuPay, and I'm open to any questions. Thank you. Sanjana, do we have time? Yes, we have time. Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Can I have your name and the organization, please?
My name is Sunita Shresh. I'm associated with IDMA.
Okay, IDMA. Yeah.
So my query around here is that the portal. Hi. Okay, my question is, like, you have this portal where you said there is like 3 lakh MSME already.
3 crore.
3 crore MSME, right? So what I feel that these vendors of most of the MSME sector, or middle market rather, they are from the unregulated industry, right? They are not that upfront in being present at such platform, and that is the main reason. Because see, if I ask a company that come on the commercial card program, they'll say my merchant are not that regulated or that organized, and then there's a hindrance. They do not want to come to that platform. So like Aadhaar, people did try to resist, but then it got mandated now everywhere. Is there any way where all the companies, in any manner if they're registered, they come on this platform that if I want to convince somebody for a commercial card, all their vendors are already a merchant, because converting, it's not converting a corporate to a commercial card. It is convincing all their vendors, and a company has got a plethora of vendors, right? So वो program run नहीं करता है, because they will not come on board on a commercial program for 2 or 3 vendors of theirs. And that then challenges the whole thing. So is there any platform where any company in India automatically come on a platform where they need not to do any documentation, because that's a bit of a hassle, however much we say that it has got digitized or eased up. And that's why a commercial program becomes a little failure for a company to take up, because if not all vendors come up, partially वो 2 program run करे, एक वो आपका टेढ़ा मेढ़ा जो मैप आपने बनाया था वो, और एक ही बिल्कुल structured वाला, it becomes very difficult. They do not want to deal with 2 solutions. Finance तो बिल्कुल ही नहीं मानता, CFO सीधे मना कर देते हैं. So can we have कि सारे लोग already एक merchant platform पे हो, whosoever takes that program, उसके सारे के सारे vendor merchant हो.
That's a dream. So, yeah. So I'll tell you. Yes. So thank you, Atul. So I agree. So there are 2 things to it. Okay. One is that whether on Udyam portal, so Udyam portal is something wherein every MSMEs are getting registered, because it is any benefit if they want to take from the government, so they will get registered themselves there. So at least the MSMEs are registered there, so that piece is taken care of. The second piece is, what if all suppliers are available at one platform, right? There was one launch yesterday wherein we did B2B for BBPS. I have not covered that in my slides because there are things which will be communicated eventually. So that is the reason it's not here. But that is also that is one platform where eventually what we envisage, that all suppliers, all will be at one platform. Again, as my starting sentence, it's a dream. And if it happens, it'll streamline the entire procurement. But there's first step on that. So there was a launch yesterday, as I said. Details will be provided. So that's like the first step for that. Thank you for the question. Yeah.
Hi, all 3 of us, we are from a commercial card management portal, mostly in Europe and West Coast. We were just curious to know, how is the penetration for fintech with this? Can the processor be available for transactions, and we can build a portal out of that? We're just curious, are there any players like us here in the RuPay?
So I'm sorry, you're from which organization? What's your name?
Subramanian. The portal that we have is SpendTrack. It is now
SpendTrack.
under Fiserv, yeah.
Oh, SpendTrack. Okay. So yes, that is you are doing a very important job, because what happens, a very important part of a commercial card is providing a visibility and transparency. So there are many new age fintech players who are into the kind of portal you're talking about, ERP systems, and that is very important, because what used to happen earlier, that such kind of portals were very expensive, such kind of ERP solutions were very expensive, and there were very few players in that. So it was very difficult for a small merchant to take that kind of a portal or take that kind of a ERP service. But with the advent of you and many other fintech players, this is now in the reach of, and it is now affordable for them to take such kind of solutions. So I see a very bright future there. And we talk about RuPay Corporate Connect. So we have a feature wherein I can get integrated with your system. So if, let's say, any of the corporate has your system and they have RuPay cards, so we can have integration together. So what I believe, that there is a very good future for all the fintechs who are working in this space especially. Yeah.
Abhishek, you are yourself acting as a competitor to fintech, you're getting all the data.
No.
Good articles and send it, right?
See, I'll tell you, in the ecosystem, all of us work together. Yeah, that's what I said. The integration is possible, and I think all of us will grow together. Market is so big. If I talk about total credit cards, only penetration of 4% in the consumer space. If you talk about purchase card, it's hardly anything. So I think there's a lot of journey to be covered, and all of us have space.
Abhishek, Shantanu from Fiserv.
Hi, Shantanu.
So very well said. I think I'm getting a premature question, because we are thinking on SMB credit side. What's your thought on SMB debit side?
Okay. So I'll tell you. So the space which is covered as of now, if I talk about the commercial card universe or a commercial card umbrella as of now, SMBs are very small fraction of it. Okay. So from the supplier side, from a debit side or the credit side, it's a very small portion of it. It's like what we have done presently is only the scratch of the a tip of the iceberg. So I think from both sides, from the debit side, on the credit side, on the supply side and the payment side, receivable sides, there is a good opportunity. And the people like you who are working with large issuers, people like them who are working for multiple solutions, together we can create affordable solutions for our SMBs. And basis that, we will see a lot of traction in the market from both sides. So I believe it has a strong possibility and opportunity. Yes, sir.
Hi, this is Kiran Hegde here.
Yes,
So
and
I
you're
just
from?
wanted I'm from Axis Bank.
Hi.
Hi, just wanted to check on, say like corporates used to make vendor payments and tax related payments, which were the primarily mode for routing commercial card related transactions. So on a one fine day in the month of February, RBI came up with a circular stating that no more transactions through intermediaries and all, which I think brought a halt to vendor payment related transactions. So just wanted to check with you, what's your view on that, whether we will be able to do such transactions going forward, or you think BBPS is the only way ahead? Because what's your view from the regulatory standpoint also, and what's your view from NPCI standpoint as far as RuPay goes?
So this is a very tricky question. It's a very tricky question. I'll try to answer. So first point was making payments through intermediaries. So what regulator has said that when a corporate is making payment to the end user, so the end user should be identified. So the end user should be procured or his KYCs are taken. So that is the reason they have not stopped. So there is no restriction on vendor payment. It's just that the restriction is on directly. So a corporate can directly make payment to a vendor if that vendor is procured or he has acceptance ecosystems. So RBI has not restricted vendor payments. RBI has restricted intermediaries. So if any corporate wants to make payment to his vendor and that vendor has a credit card, a commercial card acceptance, presence or ecosystem, the payments can be done. Now the question is, will the earlier regime will come back? I'm not very sure of it. There are large banks who are working on the solution wherein, ultimately it's very important also that what is the end use of the money which is going, right? That's the very important piece. And I believe at NPCI, at large banks, at the regulator, we all are working in that direction. It's very important, money flows, transparency of money flows is very important. As I said, the BPS for B2B payments is also one of the tools in that direction, and large banks are also working on it. I think it's very important to have the restriction on the money flows, who's getting the money, the KYCs and everything should be very clear. So yeah, that's my answer.
Bharat will pay, India Post Payment Bank. There's a special affinity towards them actually. So you guys are very lucky.
So I'll say, all of us are working for the progress of Fintech and the digital ecosystem in India. All of us have our important roles, whether it's bank, whether it is NPCI, whether it is, any of the entities, everybody has its own role. And as I said, there is a lot of scope for digital payments in retail as well as in commercial. So I think everybody has a space, everybody has a place, and all of us are making things move here. That was a difficult question, but yeah.
Well, thank you so much. Well, I'd like to interrupt here. I'm so sorry. We have to start our next session.
Yeah.
I would request, sir, if you can take this outside.
Sure. Thank you so much. It was a lovely interaction with you guys. Thank you.